Have you joined us? I'd like to welcome you all to this League of Women Voters Hot Topic session. I'm Glenda Keel, and as Hot Topic Coordinator, I'm pleased to introduce today's program. Let me tell you first of all that you're all muted, but you will have a chance later to pose questions to the speaker, and I'll explain how that will work later. But now to get back to the program itself. It's about a new, very energetic organization, the DARE Minority Coalition. And this organization has really an impressive list of accomplishments since it was founded just recently, in fact, in late 2018. One of the most visible things it has done was it organized a very successful rally in Manteo last summer to promote equal justice and the Black Lives Matter movement. And then just last month, it sponsored a program on the importance of voting. And that had included an impressive list of speakers, and it had widespread support. So to tell us more about this new organization, its initiatives and its goals and objectives, please welcome the Executive Director of the DARE Minority Coalition, Mr. George Carver.
Thank you, Ms. Glenda. Thank you, League of Women Voters, for having me on this afternoon. My name is George Carver. I'm the Executive Director of DARE Minority Coalition. We are a 501c3 nonprofit CDC here in Dare County. It was incorporated in 2018. It was involved as a result of family and friends' concerns about the social injustice and the lack of affordable housing here in Dare County. Our mission of DMC is investing in ourselves by investing in our community to improve quality of life for ourselves, our families, our neighbors, by working together on projects and issues that will maintain and create a safe and affordable housing for low to moderate income individuals, support economic opportunities for minority business and residents of Dare County, enhance the physical image of the area, and instill a sense of neighborhood pride and commitments. Our goals are to maintain and develop safe, decent, and affordable housing with intentions of expanding rental and home ownership opportunities for current and future low to moderate income residents in the target area, which is Dare County, and maintain and enhance the physical image of the neighborhoods, instill neighborhood pride of the residents, and develop social cohesiveness. Strive and seek representation from all segments of Manteo community, increase awareness of Dare County residents, business, organization within and outside the target area. Our values: integrity, compassion, unity, and teamwork. Our vision is investing in our community to ensure housing and healthy educational opportunities to our residents throughout a new technology reentry app. First of all, I'd like to give special thanks to our board, which includes Shanae Twitty. She's a mother of 5 and works 2 jobs of one of our directors. Lynette Ford, she's a high school history teacher here at First Flights. Rashad Daniels is the finance officer here at Manteo Middle School. Ebony Selby is the vice president. She's have a job in in-home care for the elderly here in Manteo. And Radasha, also, she does in-home care for the elderly here in Manteo. And also Yvette Pleasure, our secretary, she works here at the local hospital. And I would like to give thanks before I move on with some of my major topics is to a very slight, I want to say many, a very important individual, especially our advisory boards for 2020 and 2021. Miss Jessica Evans, she's gonna be helping us with our real estate. Nicholas Antonius, he also would be a broker, head in our PC real estate branch. Miss Nellie Hilly, also Anthony Leon, he would be helping us with the finance and banking part of our organization. And also Cesar Stacco, she's our finance and money management, which we'll be working with PNC. I'll get more details with some of those advisors later on when I mention some of the other programs. Also, Laura Martier and Patty McKenna, they will be assisting us with the grants. We'll be proposals we'll be writing for next year. And also Mr. Michael Lou is the Executive Director of the Outer Banks Hotline. And some of our partners, if they are on, they might want to comment later on at the end of my presentation. Kim Coble, Tim Sweeney, the College of Albemarle. Kim, I'm gonna back up to Kim. She's gonna be helping us with our community outreach program. I'm gonna get more in detail with that later. Emily Ertz, Dare County Recovery Courts. And also Chris Heyman and Lynn Francis, we'll be partnering with them later on in the near future. The Dare Art Council, and also Sabbath Labs, Ben Eckerson, and Mr. Andrew Stigney. If he's on, he might be making some public comments later. But I want to be very transparent with you guys. I know some of the major programs that DMC is involved with is taking on a lot. Been a 2-year organization this past November. But the reason why I wanted to acknowledge my board member, because they believe in my passion and the things I have given up to actually focus directly with their Minority Coalition, to focus on our major 4 programs, which is affordable housing, transitional housing, reentry program, and our community outreach program. But just to be very clear and blunt, I take this very seriously, and I gave up just on my personal income over $120,000 just from one job in the past 2 years to work for their Minority Coalition without being paid or restitution or anything of that nature. And some of the job titles that I covered is grant coordinator, a couple of grants I wrote last year and this year, grassroots organizer, community outreach coordinator, program coordinators, nonprofit fundraiser, executive director, which is the title I mainly go by, donor relation manager, compliance director, fundraising management, and the housing program, reentry program, community outreach program. And like I said, the transitional program is a new one. And also the PC real estate is something else that's been included to help with our residual income. Community service projects, members service director, and also job development that I'll be working with our volunteers. These are most of everything I've been doing on a personal level, working this full time. So I want to be very clear, and but like I said, I take this very seriously because I'm devoted my past 2 years on this project, actually trying to provide certain things to Dare County so it can be implemented in other counties, and some other projects that we were working on can be nationally known. And one of the main things that I got Dare County involved with the commissioners, invited to the Housing Coalition in Raleigh last year. Unfortunately, we was 10 months in existence at the time. So I'm working with Dare County. We've been kind of hard because we wasn't experienced nonprofit CDC. But our partners in affordable housing that we are working with closely are developers and contractors, East Point Homes, Limited Liability Company, and Howken Development. Together, they have 50 developments they developed here in North Carolina. Won an award in 2018 from North Carolina Housing Finance Agency for an outstanding development and rehabilitation and existing and older property in Asheboro. They also had a grand opening in Ayden, North Carolina, and the mayor and local government loved this development. It was actually broadcast on a couple of news stations. And East Point Homes is actually located in Jacksonville, I'm sorry. But I'm saying these very experienced developers are willing to work with, let's say, not experienced nonprofits such as ourselves, but they see the determination that we have. And also they're willing to work with us because their county, being the fourth richest county per capita in the state, and we need to actually deal with our housing situation, like 1,200 units. So that's 1,200 units is 1,200 family that needs affordable housing. And just to add to our affordable housing, just to move forward with our first phase, dealing with North Carolina Housing Finance Agency, I have a budget of just under $16,000 to move forward. We already have a properties over 19 acres to actually have 84 units developed. And this is close to $14 million project. So I'm very excited about that. I'm ready to get my proposal in to receive the funds on this. And I'm open doors. So anyone that have any suggestions about acquiring these less than $16,000 to move forward with affordable housing here, I'm all ears. Feel free to email me and call me at your convenience. And I just want to emphasize like the difference between transitional housing, which is another program which I just freshly established, I'm going to say last month. Transitional housing, working with Outer Banks Hotline with their case managers, and also with PNC as far as doing assistant management, money management assistance. Let me briefly discuss this real quick. We will be working with Carlos Gomez. He's one of the owners of Coastal Engineering Survey Incorporated. So what we want to do with the transition housing is actually have individuals that's involved in the county that has property. Instead of trying to acquire so much property here in their county, we know that's a tough feat with the property value of their county quite high. So I want to have the community involved with us to actually have developments on their property that they own to grant us access so we can develop 5-bedroom units on these houses so families can go through transitional programs, which, like I said, the Outer Banks Hotline will be working closely with us, and also PNC Bank will be doing the money management programs. And this program will consist of 18 to 2 years. And in this program, the families will learn money management and also how to budget their income so they can build their credit so they'll be in a position to purchase their own homes. So that's the difference between the transition housing and the low income affordable housing, which is nothing more than 30% of anyone's annual income on housing, period. And with the affordable housing, you're able to stay there as long as you wish. But with transition housing, like I said, is a transition to actually get individuals into their own properties. I can go in further details with the transition housing, but I might leave that open to questioners. But I think I might cover just the basics on that transition housing. And our other major program is the community outreach program. Unfortunately, our community garden didn't go according to plan due to COVID-19 and other indifferences. But we are working closely with Kim Campbell, which she's a health and wellness educator, and she will be providing information on about bettering individuals' well-being on weight reduction, food addiction, health issues, ADD, stress, anxieties, and it's all about bettering yourself. Being that 2020 has been such an unprecedented time, and going through the holidays and going through the political things that we have been faced with for 2020, I think it's better for everyone as individuals be very aware of their well-being individually. So you can't move forward and like progress if you're hurting inside and you going through so much. I think working with Miss Kim, she's gonna bring a lot to the table on bringing awareness to one's physical well-being. Kim will donate and provide wisdom, knowledge, and experience in helping individuals with, like I said, with weight reduction, food addiction, health issues, ADD, PTSD, and stress and anxiety workshops. So I got on our Facebook page those that actually want to participate in this just to do a brief comment and let us know who you are and how we can reach out to you so we can schedule for this workshop. We'll be starting next year. Hopefully Ms. Kim is online. She can make a brief comment at the end of my presentation, how we willing to work together. And also, I have been talking to Michelle Wagner. A lot of us, many of you might know Michelle Wagner. She's one of the reporters here in the local area about acquiring property. And one of the outsourcers in Manteo is if Duke Adair. And I've been talking to Buddy and had a couple individuals, well, I take that back, not a couple. I had one developer go through, and I'm waiting to actually get a quote back from Ryan Gort. He works with Coast Construction and Remodeling Limited Liability. So what we want to do is turn this into a multicultural development and a facility that houses maybe like a daycare, a barbershop, urban arts, conference rooms. They definitely would be housing, like the housing counseling that I mentioned earlier. So I think this is something that that DMC can definitely partner with other organizations to bring this to reality, and I'm saying bring it to reality soon. Being that the new college is going up, we could have the same designs that actually complement the new colleges going up. So anybody have any ideas and want to partner with us, I'm saying I will be making a presentation hopefully by the end of the year, so I can get the local municipalities involved and partner with us to actually get this remodeling done. Being a small organization, there's only but so much I can acquire and go after as far as like federal grants, but local government can receive multi-million-dollar funds to actually get this project underway. And one of my favorites, one of my babies, I love the whole idea about the reentry program, and started last year working with Tim Sweeney and Miss Sherry, going to the detention center. It was like a better way to actually get involved with those individuals that's being returned back to the community. And when you go there, you can tell, I'm saying you ask the individuals what they want to enroll in and what type of classes when they're getting out. And I ain't want to seem like I was closing doors on those individuals, just was still waiting trial and not from the local area, and say that y'all can't enroll because you will be transferred. From me working and going to the local detention center with Miss Sherry and partner with the College of the Admiral, Tim Sweeney, the dean, to actually acquire those that's returning back to the community, which, let's say, non-violent offenders. Those are the one I want to focus on at the time. You can't save everybody, but I'm saying it is an option to have everybody to actually be a part of the app. But my main focus goal is those non-violent offenders that keep doing minor petty things to keep getting locked up. And so I'm saying if there's an option where they can actually use the app at their convenience to see what type of jobs is available to them, what type of resources are available to them, that is what I'm working on with one of my partners, Ben Eckerson, and Stewart. I probably messed his name up. He's gonna kill me. But we just actually met. So, but I'm saying these guys are very passionate about the ideas that I brought to the table with this reentry app. And let me just go over this the mission of the reentry app real quick, if you don't mind. The United Reentry app is equipped with formerly incarcerated citizens with the connections and resources to help them become productive members of their communities. Upon release from incarceration, the opportunities available to individuals vary widely. The United Reentry app is a smartphone application built to provide newly released prisoners with free and easy access to a wide variety of information and resources, customizable to their needs and efforts for successful reentry into their communities. collaborate with other entities in local areas to provide the necessary resources for productions for returning citizens. What I mean by that is, with every community, like business owners, it's not just, I want to have them involved in the production of these individuals is constantly being in trouble and on the wrong side of the law. So it's not just up for someone coming up with the key solution. We are the key solution, everybody in the community. So we all have to play our role and actually provide certain job opportunities for these men and women that actually wants opportunity to provide for the family. And some of these resources are like I mentioned, small and large businesses, community college, nonprofit organizations got resources available that they can use the apps. Banks, local, state, federal, um, incarceration facilities, social workers, caseworkers, parole officers, attorneys can use this. Temp agencies, like unemployment offices, will be able to use the same thing. I know they have something now in North Carolina that they're working on, but like I said, we still can collaborate on this and have this app available for those returning citizens, and not just for those people that's been incarcerated. Being that 2020, there's so many individuals lost their job because of COVID-19. This can be used as another platform for acquiring jobs and resources. Also, like church, public transportation. So there's not a limit on how many resources can be available on this app. And based on individual location, those resources around them, let's say like for Google Map, you know what type of opportunities are going to be available to you through this app. So with that being said, I just want to mention that Dare Minority Coalition, I'm pretty sure that most people don't feel this way after my presentation now, but at the beginning, I was confronted numerous times from other individuals with Dare Minority just for the Black community. And the answer to that is no. And the reason why I have these programs established is because I can't just have Dare Minority Coalition supporting the Black community. If that was the case, it would be much harder for us to move forward, because it's hard for me to even convince my own people here in Dare County, Manteo, how important it is of some of the programs that I established, not just me making a name for myself. It's just being very resourceful and not putting myself first. Being, I feel I'm calling myself a 1% because not too many people realize like the passion and the drive that I have for my fellow human beings, period, no matter your skin tone. But the lack of support I have in my Black community here in Manteo, this is the reason why the programs, I know it seems like, I don't think it's far-fetched. I think more people is paying attention now, more people want to be involved, and they will get the opportunity to be involved with Dare Minority Coalition. So I'm saying it's community organization. But like I said, the lack of support that I have for my Black community, this is the reason why. Because I don't want to feel like I have to go door to door, which I have in our first year in existence, of everybody. I don't think I can count on my hands of a family that I did not approach. And so, and it saddens me, seriously, because I should have the 100% support from my Black community, with no question asked. And the things that Dare Minority Coalition is focused on, why wouldn't it? That's why I'm making a wraparound program that every program is going to support itself and complement the other program. And with that being said, I just want to give another special thanks to some of the VIPs that I want to say that was actually support Dare Minority Coalition and all the fundraisers that we had, and just constantly donated money to us. And I want to say Laverne Brooks, Ms. Beulah Ashby, Betty Selby, Jennifer Albanese from Interfaith Community College. Just to, I'm saying, they reflect on what I had put on the line to actually make sure DMC is very successful. I put like I mentioned to you before, my finances on hold. So Jennifer, she's part of another nonprofit. So all my funds is going in to make sure we are legally and physically in. That being said, Jennifer, I'm saying actually got support. I'm not ashamed to say this. I got support from another nonprofit on my personal finances, because everything I put in, as far as like maxing out my credit cards, I had to let that go because I want to make sure their Minority Coalition have funds in the bank so we can stay stable. So with that being said, thank you, Ms. Jennifer. Ms. Morgan Monsheen from Buffalo City Jug Shop, Ashley O'Neill's Seafood from Wanchis, Joe Gacka from Kellogg's, Hunter Smithwick, and from Manteo Marina. So with that being said, thank you very much, and definitely thank you to my VIP supporters and David Schuffelberger from one of the Outer Banks Community Foundation's supporters. He's a very awesome and well-educated and a good guy, I like to say. So thank you for your time, everyone. And I might have some individuals on standby. Ms. Kim, if she is on, she can wave her hand to speak. And also Mr. Tim Sweeney and Andrew Stickney that want to comment on our future collaboration. Back to you, Ms. Linda.
Thank you, Mr. Carver. That was really, wow, you've taken on a lot there. That we have a lot of projects going on there. It sounds great. You had mentioned that you had a couple people or collaborators that might want to say a few words. Would you like to introduce them?
Yes, I'd like to introduce Ms. Kim Colby.
My name is Kim Kolb. I have been in North Carolina for 4 years, grew up in California, lived in Northeast Ohio for 14 years. And anyway, settled here and trying to find my roots again, because as you know, when you're a coach, it's not like being a nurse or retail where you move somewhere and you instantly find another job. I've had to recreate a client base, but more than anything, I've been looking for exactly what George offered me, and that is working with a community to get them healthy, nutritionally, physically, and most importantly, and where I always start, emotionally. My favorite thing I teach is something called emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping. And I have wanted to do it in a reentry program for a long time. So this was a gift. And I work a lot with at-risk teens, as well as anyone who has trauma. Could be physical trauma, could be emotional trauma, addictions, eating issues, like I said, physical pain, cravings, phobias, anything like that. And so that's my pet project is EFT. And from there, once I have people's emotions stable, they don't sabotage themselves when I teach them healthy eating habits or a way to stay fit, especially as we age. There's better ways to learn to do both of these than what we have been traditionally taught. So that's what I want to bring to the community. And George and I had also talked about going to first responders, working with those organizations, such as the police and the schools and the firemen, and then eventually just reaching out to the entire community. And that's it. Does anyone have, anything else?
Yeah, I see that. Let's move on to the question and answer section. And if any of you have questions in mind, go ahead and post them. The one here is, I would like to know how I, an average Dare County resident, can significantly contribute to the coalition meeting its goals.
You can email me at Dare Minority Coalition, the number 1 at gmail.com. with that being said, like all the major programs that I mentioned, if you want to be a volunteer or a member, we definitely going to be taking on newcomers. And we right now, like I said, in this transitioning, we try to acquire a new office space and also just get a grip on who wants to be involved and how they want to be involved and what program they want to be involved in. So if you have a precise program you want to be dealing with, either the transitional housing, the affordable housing, the community outreach, or the reentry, just like I said, give us a shout out, or email, or feel free to call me, or visit DareMinorityCoalition.com, and you can contact us through there as well.
Okay, the next question we have, are you aware of North Carolina Grant Watch? I receive current grant opportunities from them via email each week.
Yes, I actually got involved with Grant Watch, I want to say last week, and I have a few grants now that I'm working on, not grants, but proposals, so to speak, that I'll be working on. And to be honest, this is a great site. I wish I'd known about this last year.
Very good. Next question. Okay. Do you have a sense of the number of formerly incarcerated folks who might be needing services in Dare County? Is there overlap between that community and those working in service and other industries that don't pay enough for folks to find housing here?
Right now is not many people here in Dare County as far as it's going to need those services, because it's usually the same individuals in and out. And right now, I'm thinking, I'm not going to be saying I'm thinking, but I know working with Emily, the numbers are just under 30 with individuals that needs those types of support. And mostly those are drug related, so to speak. But as far as like returning back, those numbers are going to vary. I want to say weekly, if not daily, just because I want to have the reentry app available for those that actually are locked up on those lesser offense. And as far as like those jobs is overlapping, like I said, that's why I'll be reaching out. And like I posted on my website and also our Facebook page, those resources that wants to have their jobs available to these individuals. I'm saying they can reach out.
Okay. And another question on the reentry program. The reentry app sounds interesting. Are you building it or does it exist?
Right now, you can check check our Facebook page and also our website, and you can see that there's a pre-development app, so to speak. It's like two different apps that just like give you a dry run how it will look, and like certain buttons work on this app that's actually usable. But to answer your question, is the development in stage. And if I have my friend Andrew Stickley online, he can describe more about how we can pursue getting more people locally involved with the app before it launches.
Okay. The next question. Oh, this is a good one. In a perfect world, in 5 years, what's your vision of what result we'll see in Dare County based on your goals?
I want to see less. I want to see the crime rate and definitely like the drug use go down amongst individuals, because being mind altering, the drugs is definitely a starting point, but you don't know anyone's background because of the drug use. Meaning that this is why I want to think within 5 years. I'm stick to the question. I would like to have the 84 unit development done, at least 20 transitional housing developments accomplished. I I want to call it the key solution, multicultural outlet established. And just constantly working with individuals and communities is going to be more suitable than making a change in all communities, not just here in Dare County, but throughout the state and nation. So I see a big difference change, and I want to see a healthier community through our outreach programs on focus on how they consume foods, I'm saying their well-beings and their surroundings, and just being more open to one another and being more supportive of each other and respectful.
Very good. I worked for the state of Maryland in housing and community development, and the communities that had strong community development organizations and housing organizations really made great progress. And it's a big difference between the communities that had those active organizations and the ones that didn't. So I'm very optimistic about what you can accomplish, even though you have some very, maybe some would say hard to get to goals. I really think it can be done.
Right. It can be done.
Let's see, here's another question. What has been the biggest obstacle? Investors, community, time, commissioners, etc. And what projects have come to fruition?
The biggest problem, like I mentioned, is dealing with the community itself. Just like Ms. Glenda said, like some of the goals that we have established is big, and even like the previous CDC here that didn't work out completely, and being such a new organization taking on these big goals, and not just here is a problem, but like the affordable housing throughout the country is a problem, and the loss of homes is at the top of the line right now. And by next year, there's gonna be so many people losing their homes, it's gonna be ridiculous. So I'm trying to work with our organization and our partners to actually be set up so where foreclosed homes can be acquired by nonprofits, and we can have these individuals going back through these programs and keep their homes, if not those that's homeless, be able to acquire homes. And the biggest, like I said, I want to say concern, because I know growing up, this is what I talked about, like drinking with friends, hanging out, is how we can better our communities. And I thought maybe after we got our nonprofit established that we have more support in the community, but the support's not there. That's why I feel I had to do something for like the reentry app to actually have residual income coming not just from Dare County, but this can be a national residual income to our organization. And also partnering with a bigger nonprofit called PC Real Estate to acquire foreclosed homes and HUD homes to actually put individuals in, because of the lack of support I had here in Manteo and Dare County. And I know the commissioners, Dare County commissioners want to get or be involved with experienced developers as far as like getting things done with affordable housing. But like I said, I was there and the doors are still open, but they feel like dealing with one entity is enough for them. But like I said, the affordable housing is at 1,200 units to combat the housing problem here in Dare County. And I think my biggest accomplishment I see is like dealing with new entities that's been aware of what we're trying to accomplish and being more attentive and how they want to help. So I think that's a great accomplishment. Even like this this hot topic that I was asked to do today with the League of Women Voters. I think things like this is constantly is moving forward. I know my goals was big, but like the accomplishment that we have established just in the 2 years was bigger than the goals that I set for myself to accomplish. So I think we're moving along, and it's definitely given me a passion to have more patience and also work with those that's willing to help and just experiencing what they do, and just constantly be a sponge and soak in all the knowledge that I know and put in the effort in all our programs we have established. Hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. The next question. With the fact that people are living longer, do you have any plans for handicapped accessible senior friendly housing?
Oh, of course, without a doubt. Those elders is what drives me to actually do what I'm doing now, because at a young age, at 15, I lost my mother. 15 years later, I lost my father. And just knowing that you can constantly have these wisdoms around us is an honor, and they definitely should be supported. And everything I do is definitely going back to the older community. I commissioned to you before, our vice president, Ebony Selby, she do in-home care, and Badasha, secretary, she does the same thing. So I definitely want to have something in place for them where they constantly can do their jobs and actually teach other individuals how to take care of the elderly and their growing family members, so to speak, longevities.
Okay, good. The next question is drug rehab a part of your work or referrals to rehab?
Yes, it is. It definitely is. And as far as like the transitional housing, that's one of the things that they be counseled in. And our major partners, that's what they base their mission upon, their county recovery corps with Emily Earps. So yes.
Okay, interesting. The next question, how many Dare County residents are minorities? What are the main problems they have? And what can our leagues do to help? And I would include in the minorities, I mean, this is just me adding this, not the questioner, undocumented residents.
I'm saying my doors is open, and knowing that I have individuals of the Latinx community that wants to be members and also translate some of the things into the Latinx community. The majority is very large and is constantly growing. And also with the, like I said, my doors is, I'm constantly talking to family members and those in the Black community as well. But the numbers with the Black community is still at the same as, I don't know the exact numbers, but it's under 500 here in the local area, and the Latinx is almost double that.
Okay. What are the main problems they have was part of the question, and what can our league do to help?
With the Latinx community is trust and being, I believe, far as like being deported if they don't have all the legal documents. And that's just not here in this area, that's everywhere. And just being welcome to the community, because you got to think wherever you go and want to live, you want to be welcome and you want to better yourself as an individual, and you want to provide for your family. So having barriers up or walls built is not the key.
Okay. The next question, what do you attribute to the lack of support from the minority community? Can you give an example?
Hold on, say that question one more time.
Well, the question is, what do you attribute to the lack of support from the minority community? And can you give an example?
This with the minority community is what I'm saying. That's the reason, to be honest, is behind the transitional housing is like certain areas in the community. It's been not abandoned but neglected for years, and having this opportunity, just for instance, actually one of my letters to some landowners in the community, the property value is at, let's say, 27. I'm using real numbers, just under $30,000, and actually granting us access to actually have one of these developments, transition houses done. After the transitional stage or the development of this house, and after the program is done for X amount of years, the property value will be up to $300,000. And some of these properties don't have nobody staying on these properties. So I think that's a great opportunity to bring new wealth into the community, and also still assist with transition housing and having housing period, and also having individual more involved with their minority coalition.
Okay. I have some questions about the housing that's under development in Manteo. I wondered what the rent cost would be, and you mentioned it would require 30% of income of the residents. So I assume, am I correct that some of it, if not all of it, would be Section 8 housing? And then you mentioned there were going to be 84 units. So is that in multifamily buildings?
Yes.
Okay.
These developments would be multifamily developments, and it's going to be mixed income based. So it's not everybody in these developments is low income. And Section 8 is welcome. And being that not just Section 8, it's called it's called, one second, let me get my, it's called attendance vouchers that the state offers to those with development. And once these vouchers are in place for a certain, let's say for a certain apartment, so to speak, that voucher stays in place to development is completely paid off. So like in transition of people moving in and out, the development will still be paid for by the tenant vouchers and by the states. So I don't think that'd be a problem. Like I said, once the development is built, because it's going to be, I'm not going to say self-sufficient, but it's going to be filled in quickly.
Okay. Are there going to be any units in it for larger families? Any units with 3 bedrooms or more?
Yes, the units would be, some of the units might be one. It's going to go from 1 to 4 bedroom units.
Okay. And then the last question I had is, when do you expect groundbreaking to occur?
I want groundbreaking, hopefully by this conversation, groundbreaking can start now. Like I said, for phase 1, we just need to come up with just under $16,000 so we can do the submittal costs to the low income housing tax credit, so we can start the process of having the land surveyed and we can move forward. And that $16,000 will be paid back once the application is accepted and the grants and the funds are there. So that money will be paid back.
Okay. And I have a clarification question here. The person who asked, to what do you attribute the lack of support from the minority community, says, clarifying my question, Mr. Carver said the Black community was not very supportive, unless I heard that incorrectly. And I wondered why they're not.
Just like Ms. Glenda said earlier, like the big goals that I have set and planned, I'm thinking they don't want to have their name attached, which I'm not asking for money. I want to have their time and support. That's greater than money to me. But yet I think the lack of support is the lack of knowledge and the lack of even asking questions and actually putting themselves into working and finding out. Like I said, I knew everyone here. I grew up here. I've been here for over 30 some years. So it's just that lack, like I said, the lack of support is the lack of understanding, and they thinking of failure and they don't want to have their name attached to it. This not just here in this county, is in other counties and other states that's going through the same thing. They get more support of the Black community from other individuals. Like I didn't mention this, but I got support from Raleigh and Durham and even Atlanta. But I want to, even Elizabeth City. But it's like in your local area, is people who are skeptical because they feel like they know you, or there's a competition or something like that. But I hate to say it's not like that with me, as far as I love to see my fellow Black people do well. but my offer is on the table, still dealing with other organizations like in Elizabeth City and Raleigh and Durham area, and also Atlanta. But at the same token, before I move forward to actually establish working progress with other organizations out of town, I want to see my hometown do well. Period.
Well, again, thank you very much, and thanks to everybody that's joined us. It's great to learn more about this vigorous new Dare County organization, and really, it's great to be able to add such a committed group to all of our other active nonprofits in the county. And I'd like you to know that we do plan to schedule hot topic sessions, probably about once a month. That's our goal from January into the spring. So keep this in mind and watch for further announcements.